So instead of just staying cool like that, I want us to be lively. Isn't it so? Yeah, we want to feel some sense of warmth. And I want somebody who has something that can present here to entertain us. A song maybe, or a poem, yeah, that can make our head move. Who has something big? Yeah. You want to start with
School of Physical Sciences. Not part of the CCPE, but I was invited as the university for KMN stands for Kenya Model United Nations, which I'm part of the Chiromo chapter. So this one I'll be telling after seeing the clip that went on just about some support. It's all about community service. As different clubs and societies, we come together at times to do community service, which is to go to themselves, visit the elderly, educate people on drug and substance abuse. Yeah, so I just read it. Community service. As members of different clubs and societies, community service should not be a one-day thing where we come together, pull funds and visit children's homes, clean streets and educate people on social issues, but it should be a culture so much incorporated into our hearts and minds that individually we will step out of our comfort zones and make positive moves to start movements. These movements will be working to bring change in our sports movements. I love seeing young people adorned in beautiful t-shirts, cleaning streets, playing with kids and caring for the aids. But it should not be a single day thing, but 350 days of the year, not 365. Let us come out strongly as shepherds of this generation, to stand out counted as those individuals who will bring constant change to the ills in our societies and that are over time being overlooked. It's just like something I thought of. Instead of just coming out one day and feeling Chiromo, coming out one day and going to a student's home, it's something that we should take as influence. Our society to look upon us, we who have come to campus, as people who are so much above the kind of their term. But only coming out one day and doing something is not enough. We can step out and start movements. I mean, I'm going to the sense you can influence some people. Just look around you in your home area, in your class, and you can do something. So it should never be a one-day thing. It's more than a one-day thing. This community service thing. And it's all to be positive. So it's just something I thought of. And opportunity came.
At this moment, welcome another one of our own. Is CCPE.
So I hope you enjoy. So I proceed. Uko uko shua nami. Uko uko shua nami. Uko uko shua nami. Ulinifanya nihanye, watu nidanganye, kisha vilikuwa nikusanye, kwani maisha ulinizidia mwanya, nikajaribu kutafakari lakini bado la kufuata siku, wewe nilikumia ila tu nilivumilia. Nilichukua kwa kuvumilia. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Umaskini lako jina na kukana kwa kina, ingawa bado mimi natengana nami kama lila na fila jao sasa na mila. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Mtihani unajulikana kwa janga unayoleta matatizo yanasababisha, kisha kwangu wapisha, nataka nikaribishe na pete kuvisha, tuwe marafiki kama pata nimisha. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Mtihani bobea kote umeenea, hakuna cha kusongea, maneno haya wa kusemea, kwani unakataka wale kihela watabobea tena unfair. Uko shua nami. Uko shua nami. Peleka hata story code at least get Kenya says like a spoken word. So now we see Al-Shabaab Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaab eti walituteka nyara out of blues, ikakakana kwamba kuna kuu kedife kwa wanabantu bila nowhere to flew wakala kuu most of them wakadecide kwa malu jadi ya kutumaliza epuka mtu they were dressed in Islamic khaki na mashu ati Al-Shabaab Al-Shabaab ati walikonfine wengi na kindani wakawalazimu walale kwa kitambi na kasi na hiyo wakakitinda kwa ndani ya mimi kwani watakubani sabini watarudishwa chini si kabila wala dini. Al-Shabaab ati waliachawelia kana ukufu katika kiwiliwili si the first time tumetoka asili so hakuna haja kutengeneza propaganda kwa zetu akili kwani hakuna ya kiwai kusingizio kamili kwa tuliopitia hali tupeperushe mkono tudispendi injili na thank God kwa kutupa chance ya pili.
Niaje wasisi. Okay, kumajina watu ni ya demons. Siko na nisikia. Demons. System get introduced. System get education. Na get explained. Okay, let me see English. The reason I'm in front of is because you actually told me to share something, and there's something I really want to share. Most of us, I think 100% of us are in Chiromo. And I just have one single question to ask you, please. In this period of time, I find that this is the period of time in which tunajanga yani mpaka kuna space ya ukatilo. Unaenda unapata wasio watu wamejana, people are just waiting because of the exams. When you go to the library before the exams period, you find that it's free. And there's one very interesting thing that I discovered when you the library. There are so many different. How many of you have ever read something that is totally unrelated to the course that you're doing? Totally unrelated. How many? Only 2, 3. Have you ever gone to the psychology section of Chiromo? Do you know that there's a psychology section in Chiromo? There's a section in which you find books on psychology, on how to think, on how to take yourself, on how to see how people are, how to relate with people. Somebody from main campus once told me that people from Chiromo are 99% introverts and 1% active. As in you can spot somebody from a Bachelor of Science course easily than a BA person. Okay, I don't know if it's true, but clearly from the reaction I'm getting and the audience energy, I think it's true. We can see for ourselves. Yes, the principal being a former member of Chiromo, we also say.
If I raise my hand, but I read.
Yeah.
I taught physics, but I cannot tell you the books I'm reading. Not physics.
Thank you. I think she clapped for you. So, I just want to share something small that I read from the psychology section. It was some trauma is the thing that separates us from the brains that we once were. It's not only one thing going for them. They have instincts. What they do is instinctual. They do it because they want to do it at the moment. If they want to eat, they eat. If they want to sleep, they eat. If they want to dance, they eat. So the difference between people from main campus and people from Chiromo is that the willpower people can say to yourself that I will not do this thing. Like for example, sitakunywa soda leo. That is smaller bit of willpower. But willpower is like muscle. Once you use it, it is like inaisha nguvu kidogo. So you tell it that imetoka simoja kunywa soda leo, there's another part in which you will go down. So the book that I was reading was talking about small things that you do. For example, when you see a little bee, the first instinct after eating that banana or that biscuit is to throw it away. But because you walk with it to a certain point until you reach the dustbin and you throw it into the dustbin, you are actually exercising your what? Your willpower. And therefore it becomes stronger. It makes you stronger. It makes you have self-control. There's nothing so good as having self-control. My fellow colleagues, thank God there's none of them, the others that are restored or something. I'm glad you're in Chiromo. I'm seriously appreciating it. Oh, yeah, oh. Yes, we went back into the land of the living and the dead.
Outspoken, and we do things outwardly, you know. We are not so composed and refined and follow routines. We don't go to labs to experiment and to prove something. We are very opinionated and just express ourselves. So I don't know how much willpower we have, because you say you have a stronger willpower. So I don't know if you have the strongest willpower. But I don't know if that answers the PA people. Okay. Let me just say, for now, I'm not able to think exactly what I can be able to put outright for the PA people, but we are just socialists. We love to talk, we love to communicate. Things don't pass us by. We get, like maybe there's a media fanatic that is going on about now. You can look at mainly the people who do those updates and the VAs. We definitely like to express ourselves. And that's about it for now. In any case, I'll add on to that as we continue.
About Bachelor of Arts students, I will probably add on what the lady has talked about. That once, first of all, when we are enrolled in our Bachelor of Arts and we attend our first classes, we believe that, we are taught to believe that human beings are social animals. And from that point, our interaction as social scientists, that's what we call ourselves. We are social scientists. Is all about, around human being as a social animal. And that's why probably we have much time to probably interact. We are outgoing, we are outspoken, and we probably engage a lot as far as the human beings are concerned. And that's what makes us, some will probably find us probably very outgoing, which is just part of what we do because we interact with human beings a lot. And for us, we also go to our labs, we have laboratories, and those interactions are our laboratories. Yes.
So, who else is excited to speak maybe about your course? You are passionate about this chemistry you are doing, or biology. Who is doing biology, by the way? Yeah. Wow. Do you have anything about biology that you want to tell? Yes.
Biology is a very interesting subject actually. It's very amazing. It's okay, when it came to campus, I found out that biology, it's more about it's invertebrate zoology. I really love it. I actually discovered a lot of things about that. Some of the things you don't know whether they exist or not. And it's really interesting to know that some of these things God created them. So it really convinces me that someone is there, someone who created these things. So yeah, biology is all about bringing things into reality, if I may put it. Because if you tell somebody this exists and you don't show them, they'll be like, you either lying or not. So that's the most interesting thing about biology. It's also easy to understand compared to other subjects, if I can say. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Biology is all about studying life. And then they can't define what life is. There is no definition we have about life. Just 1 minute, come and present what you have again.
Sorry, for me, to hear that somebody is able to the best that made you Hello. Watu wa biology notes nayo. Anyway, the point is, biology just is the overall explanation. Chemistry is life. As in, have you ever heard that John and Juliet walikutana after those biology? Simekuwa na chemistry, sindio? It is chemistry, walikuwa na chemistry is life. For example, biology explains all that, animals, world evolution. Chemistry explains why. The how you biology, the why it comes from. So, in each and every subject, I appreciate biology as an overall subject, but chemistry as a deeper one. Hello, are there chemists in the house? What are being on the calendar? But don't worry, it's still doing chemistry. You will get on to you. Anyway, thank you so much.
Wow, chemistry. He said that chemistry can explain how two people can interact, but biology can explain better. Can I tell you one? Let's say two people enter a room, and two people, they enter a room. Then you sit maybe somewhere and some. Then after some time, they come out, now 3 of them. Yeah, they enter 2, but now they are coming out 3.
Interaction, that is us, the social science.
I think you should not have come to Chiromo to have a talent entertainment. It can be a nice one. So the best thing you should do is just enroll in a course in main campus. Your life will be the best. Shalom. Thank you.
Just to add on, I hope we are not here to show how better our courses are, if that's what I'm meant to understand. But sometimes it's good to feel like, what you're doing is best for you, right? However, as the lady said, there's always an interlink that exists across all the courses that we are taking. That if we didn't have a psychologist, probably someone who is stressed up will suffer. And the sociology part and even the political part, where we know that everything has a political aspect. Like what we are experiencing right now, this is actually a laboratory for me, that we are having some issues around what's the best for all of us, and to me that's political science, which I believe with the doctors, the biologists, the chemists, and the physicists, and even across. So what will the lawyers say, and our friends in KNH? So I believe the idea that we want to feel superior in our courses, we should also create room for the chances of probably another course, another career or professional different from us acting and probably helping us along the way. So I believe, for me, BA is not superior, and Chiromite, I think being a Chiromite is just a name, and being a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher, in fact, why are we not even appreciating the teachers? Yeah, he's here. So I think for me it's a symbiotic kind of relationship, that all the students across that are taking different courses that we probably should.
I'm a biochemist like me. I'm a biochemist, by the way. I'm related to, there's a way I will need a BA student, and professionally, every course we all need one another, isn't it? I think because of time, we will cut that argumentation here right now, and probably we'll proceed from there afterwards if we get time. Okay, is that okay with you? Yeah, but for now, I'll request that we officially start our meeting today, our workshop. And as we start, I will ask one of us to volunteer for a word of prayer. And I'm going to request Mercy to volunteer herself and to lead us in our word of prayer as we start. Yeah.
Good morning. Let us believe and pray.
Right away, I will also request my friend Chantel to lead us in the first stanza of National Anthem, because we want to appreciate and recognize our nation also as we start. Thank you.
Kindly rise up for the
once again, allow me to welcome you, everybody here, for this wonderful session of gender-based violence workshop. And as we had already shared, we are expecting a lot, and we have a number of guests who are coming to speak on the same and to impart unto us the awareness that is needed concerning gender-based violence. This is something that happens even among us as the university community.
And I also double up as the organizing secretary for CCPE, that is the Chiromo Campus Peer Educators. And first and foremost is to appreciate all of you for coming. Planning this is not easy, but that you have appeared here and that you trust us to facilitate this, we thank you. And for that, we ask that you please applaud yourselves for coming, please. Secondly is prepare the great scope. We were up and down the office with thousands of letters, all the requests in the world, and we thank you for allowing us to have this, and more so attending it and flagging it up for us. And also we thank the medical department represented by this gentleman here who will introduce himself and speak. So I'll rush through a few things. We planned to have everything sorted out. So all the breaks, all the catering will be by Arziki. Okay? You will have your breaks after speeches. You will have your lunch, so you need not go far. Today we cut on your spending. Till around 4 you get at 4 courtesy of CCPE. Okay? And we'll also ask that if given a chance to speak, kindly observe time, observe time. Time moves, you may be still standing. So kindly observe time. And Chiromo, we are not the most quiet. Let us make this lively as can be. It is for you, it is for us, it is for everyone. Gender-based violence occurs everywhere. Ladies are everywhere, from girls. Since at home you see girls, they're born, you see them walk around, you school with them, you will work with them, you will marry them, you will laugh on many and maybe hate a few, but God forbid. But as we discuss this, we ask that you be as open as you can be. Participate. Do not fear the administrators, by the way. That is why they are here. They get to see you and to speak with you. So just by the fact that they are in front doesn't mean that they're any different. They share your views. They want to hear your views and they want to participate. So kindly, let us make this one. Thank you.
Thank you for sparing your time and finding time to be here with us. We really recognize and appreciate that. And also next to him, allow me to appreciate Mr. Jahia Dominic, who is also the clinical officer of Chiromo Campus. Can we appreciate him? Thank you. And also the organizers of this event, we have CCPE officials and also representatives. Can I just see by the show of hands the CCPE members here? CCPE members? Yeah, thank you very much for coming. And also we have the Nairobi University Anti-Drug and Substance Abuse Campaign. Members are here. I hope they have joined us. Can I just see by show of hands? Yes, can we appreciate them? Thank you very much. And also, Red Cross. I don't know whether we have a representative from Red Cross. Can I just see by show of hands? Yes, let us appreciate Thank you very much. And what about UNUS, the Organization of Nairobi University Science Students and Representative? I hope all of us who come from Chiromo we are a member of the same, so we acknowledge that. We also acknowledge the presence of our guests who are coming. We can appreciate them by the way. Welcome so much, welcome, thank you. Now right away, is there anybody that have not introduced? Maybe you have come, you are representing any organization, somebody that I'm not recognized. I think if I'm not getting anybody unrecognized, can you come to the center for the time? And we will go on. Thank you, Mr. Boluma.
Hi people. Hi people. My name is George Bluma. I'm the chairman of Chiromo Campus Peer Educators, and I just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to really appreciate and to recognize the presence of a guest of honor, our principal, also the chief medical officer, Chiromo Campus, and all of you for coming. Just clap for yourselves because you're great people. So also I want to recognize the presence of our guests. They have arrived already, and I think we are still by our program, is it? So our program says that we'll have breakfast at exactly 11 at 11:10. Okay, so we shall have our breakfast. So before that, before we invite our guest of honor, the chief guest of honor, to give his speech, I just want to run a clip.
See such cases like there's no security at all, especially at night. As ladies, it's just dangerous. And there's this one of my friends was telling me she was coming from St. Paul's University and met two men. I don't know, just from the campus. These men are saying it's either you kiss us or you pass, or else we won't allow you to pass.
Gender-based violence, to me, I think gender-based violence is any discrimination that someone has based on the other person's gender. It is anything that you might find that is, let's say, not right according to you, but judging the other person mainly because of the gender of that person. So to me, that is gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence is discrimination based on gender, that is male or female.
Gender-based violence, maybe it's denying someone his rights according to as far as gender is concerned.
I think gender-based violence is like looking down upon someone or discriminating against someone based on their gender, whether they are female or male.
Gender-based violence is just violence. For instance, a boyfriend beating up their girlfriend. I guess that's gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence is using physical force against women due to their vulnerability.
It is when you have acts of violence perpetrated by one gender towards the other.
Gender-based violence is where there is discrimination due maybe to gender. Yeah. discrimination due to gender?
Basically, gender-based violence occurs in various ways. We normally have wife battery, whereby a husband beats his own wife. But then we also have, as a parent, a father figure who abuses his own child as his own girl child. So there are basically various ways in which we can describe gender-based violence. But basically, it boils down to a lady or a woman being punished for being a woman.
I think gender-based violence is the mistreating of an individual based on their gender or their sex. Maybe you find someone being violated because they are female and maybe the area is dominated by male. That's my opinion.
I think it's where a certain gender or sex makes discrimination in the other gender. It could either be emotional, when you make the other gender, if maybe it's male chauvinist making the females feel down. They feel that they are belittled. So it can be emotional, or maybe it can also be psychological. You just make them have that feeling.
Gender violence. And the other mechanism is by ensuring that every individual in school has maximum security wherever they are within the school compound. And basically, security.
If you have a group, for example, a group of the peer counselors, there are so many groups in Chiromo, for example. I'm just talking about Chiromo as an example because that is where I am in. If you have a group that is making awareness, for example, this interview that you're interviewing me, if we start having such discussions, if we have people starting blogs writing about gender-based violence, if it's Facebook, it's talked about, so that we can have a society, a university where females and males feel that they are equal, and there is no gender that is violating or making the other one feel belittled. I think that if the administration was supposed to search such things, it is not the administration, by the way, it's other students, because the administration is so small. It's other students who are interns. We have bigger and better minds than the administration because they're that.
Let me have the privilege to welcome our principal, who also is together with us to help us demystify the white elephant. But we've given the side of the students of what gender-based violence is. So I think the principal will give also their own side as the administrators of Chiromo campus. So a hearty clap for our principal as he comes to.
Good morning. I believe you can hear me without amplifying. You are, because you are dealing with 84%. No? We have some officers. The officers are not there, and they also walk around. You can run to the principal's office, very quickly, and we mobilize the security team to do work. Yes, sir. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about also. This ladies, the guests, this is my problem I have. The students organize events. And sometimes we approve of them. We give them money, one time bonus, organize what? A bash for welcoming first years, 2014 first years. And we gave them money, I think it was 50,000 or something like that. But later on, I heard that around 1 o'clock, pass, some strong guy, man in black, went to rob a man of his girlfriend because of size factor. student leader beat a girlfriend so badly at this time of the year when the exams were what? The matter reached me and I told Karemi straight declaration, you know, because the girl was hospitalized. The parents came. So it's straight declaration. I don't even want to hear. But now when he picked the declaration and the boy was taken there, who pleaded for the guy to be released? The same girlfriend who was battered. You know? For that we have what? Reconciled. But she was beaten badly that she even missed the end year exams. So these are things that we as administrators face. So sometimes the fight could be, you may not know the cause. You know? You go try to intervene, you may be the one to be what? You know? Beaten fast. Let us check the normal course. You know? Secondly, when you join this university, you are given the student's handbook, isn't it? That handbook contains the rules governing the conduct and behavior of students. If it's assault and you think what the lady comes and reports to us, we shall apply the law, you know? If it is within the house of residence, the one starts deals with the process. If it is this side, you know, the principal deals with what? The process. If it is something that warrants the students to be suspended, we write the vice chancellor, you know, with evidence or whatever, student will be suspended pending disciplinary what? Procedures. Very clear. And you will be read charges that you will want, causing that is what? All those charges, one, causing the good name of the university to be what? Be held in this. So many charges, and legal people know how to craft them. You may think that it was only one slap, isn't it? But the charges may be 6. And the details of the what? The charges was that one event, you know? So many counts, 6 of them. So, my friend, don't be afraid to report to us, particularly the security watch office, because they are with you the whole night. The events that took place at night, I only get to be what? Brief the following what? Morning, by the security officer. But then he tells me, you know, before I took action now, you know, these people, the lady was told me, no, I don't want to be involved with that. So that's the problem we have, but I can't elaborate more. Any more burning questions so that you don't miss tea, because if you mess, there are times where life is yes, one final one.
Mine is actually a comment, also a question. I think I quote you when you say that some of the reason why people perpetrate this kind of behavior is due to ignorance. I like also to applaud you because you just said that you also read widely. So currently you said you are reading something about thinking fast, thinking slow. Mine is just to add, okay, there are so many books in the library that not only focuses on the books that you read. I found a section in the library, Chiromo Library, where there are so many things to do basically, mostly on developing oneself socially. You know, as Chiromo, we just have science oriented books there. And you are currently reading the book you told us about. My request to you is that, is it possible for us to gather more books that relate to us knowing more what to do socially within the library, so that
yes, there's a possibility. I know where our weakness has been. When the lecturers, because we use lecturers to recommend what? Books. If you go to the Department of Physics and you ask the lecturers, they just recommend what? Physics? Books. And they forget that we need to equip you with other soft skills. we will liaise with other areas, to also try to recommend to us some of the good general readers, to stock our library. We need people with that one, and we make sure that you follow it. The other thing we are going to do, or I can also advise you. There were days when we were clearing in this university. You would go through all the libraries in the university. You would be cleared in Chiromo, Jomo Kenyatta, and maybe Kisumu and so forth. Because the thinking has been that as a student with that card, you can borrow a book from any library. But you are just a walking distance from what? Jomo Kenyatta, isn't it? So why don't you use that power, the power of that library card, to go and borrow a book on what? Humanities, Why don't you use that power, because you are staying around, to come and borrow a book on physics of walking, so that you understand a little bit how this guy is forward, So what I'm trying to say, use the power of that library card to borrow books from other libraries within the university. If you want to become a lawyer, or to know something about law, you can just go to and partners and borrow. But besides that, there are also now electronic books. The library has also subscribed to a number of electronic books, e-books. E-books, you can read any when you are in the library. That is the best way to answer it.
Now you are untouchable to you. I don't want to answer that much. What I'm bringing is that think of a student who is expelled from school and still stay in school. Then somehow, or if we call it
maybe those days the boom which we used to have made us equal, So the disparities, the economic disparities that are explicit outside the campuses in the setting were not there. But you see here, you have 68,000 students in close contact. 68,000 students is more than the voting population in the constituency I come from. And that constituency is much bigger than the expanse, it's much wider than the University of Nairobi. So, yes, and they have neighbors who may be quarreling over about that, isn't it? But we are not quarreling over certain small things. So, unfortunately, these are the realities we have, we used to have politics here, but not to a level I'm seeing. I know in Chiromo, the Sonu campus, or the Sonu politicians, when I meet them, it is to solve their problem. And solve the problem is about what? Money. It's also that problem is that small tax shop there, which I don't know how to bring down, without creating much more problem. So, because of this competition for resources, men in black are common goons, we call them goons, isn't it? They are here with us, men for hire, I don't know what. You have so many names for them, isn't it?
We'll have breakfast at exactly 11 at 11:10. Okay? So we shall have our breakfast.
El Michele Matala 2009. Un cyclone passe, l'école tombe, Haïtien campé, Haïtien partagé. Nous non fin noir, nous pas capables, nous still gain l'espoir.
Such what we call digestion, and now you feel like you are tired. Is that true? Yeah, I know you do biology. So I know you are beginning to doze because actually the breakfast was just a lullaby, and now you may feel like sleeping. But we don't want you to sleep because the upcoming session is very important. So I want us to do a little exercise. Could you do like this? Askari, polisi, jeshis, and then can you do like this? Askari wa kanjo, huyo ni askari wa kanjo. Sawa sawa? Ukiona askari wa kanjo unajaribu kujua kiasi. And then tuko na mtu mwingine pia anaitwa priest. Priest ama pastor unafanya hivi. Hebu fanya hivi. Pastor unafanyaje? Ukisikia tu nikitaja priest ama pastor, ukisikia nimesema askari wa kanjo ndio. Ukisikia nimesema polisi, askari. So my story goes like this. One day, when I woke up from my room and I was on my way to Chiromo, I met askari. And when I met askari, the askari told me that did I hear the story about askari wa kanjo. And I told the askari that me, I've not heard about the story of askari wa kanjo. Then he told me to go direct to the priest. And when I went to the priest told me that I go and see the pastor. And when I went to the pastor told me that who told you to come here? I told the pastor that the priest told me to come and see him. So when I told him that the priest has told me to come and see you, the pastor, he said that, can you sit down? Then I said, then I sat down, and then I told the pastor that I have a problem. Then when the pastor heard my story, he said that, young man, are you wrong? Can you go back to your room? So when I started walking in the room, he told me that as you leave this room, you meet askari wa kanjo. And when you meet askari wa kanjo, don't run, because askari will be there to help you. And so, as I was walking, I met askari wa kanjo. But before I talked to askari wa kanjo, police was there. Are you doing it? And so when I was talking to police, the police told me that he is ready to take me to.
Can you hear me? Okay. We start with some intro introduction about Chiromo Campus. My name is Mr. Jehia, not Jehia. I'm in charge of the Chiromo Clinic. The Chiromo Clinic, those who have been there, I know most of you have been there. I don't know whether, I know majority of you know me, although they don't know my name. My name is Jackie. I've been here for mostly 4 years. In the Chiromo Clinic, we just provide security. It's a very simple clinic. So we don't have most of the services. So here what we do, we treat minor ailments. When the major, what we do is if somebody is very sick, we call ambulance, and then they are taken to the chairs on the other side. For the other services, we send our students to the other side because we are very near it. And since we do not have a space here, although the authorities are saying they are looking for space, where we can keep all the services there. Now, here, what we do, we treat people, we offer curative, and I've been seeing very few people coming for VCT. We also offer VCT services. So it is good for you people to tell the others that we offer VCT. They don't need to go to the other services. They can come here, and then we can do PCT. Something else, I'm very happy to be associated with you. I never knew there was such a club, and I'm very pleased for you to call me to this workshop, and it is the first time I've ever been called here. I don't think I've ever attended any other workshop in Chiromo, and I'm very pleased about it. Now, for what you are calling me here, what I would like to discuss myself is what gender-based violence on medical perspective. I know majority of you people, they don't know how you report a case, and it is very important. May I say, since I came here, I've got very few cases which I've handled about gender-based violence. Probably I would say, maybe Chiromo students are very good. I don't know. Or maybe there's no such instances. Because when I was working in UHS, there was a time I was working at night. We used to have resolved a lot of cases. Here since I came, I think I have handled only 3 cases. And in those 3 cases, they just ended. I don't know even whether they went very far, because when you advise them, they go and reconcile. Once they reconcile, they end the matter there. So it's my duty to tell you how you report a case. Most of the cases of gender violence may be reported by peers, or self. Somebody can go and report, or a doctor can report. Those cases reported by peers could be they were there, then they compare the culprits and they accompany them to the doctor. Now, when a case is reported in the clinic, we are supposed to examine the patient, and then I refer to the principal medical officer in the CMO's office. We usually have 2 principal medical officers. One covers in the morning, the other one covers in the evening. And if probably a student is not satisfied, we have got deputy chief medical officer on student health. We have 2 deputy chief medical officers. One is concerned with student health. Is Dr. Carrington. The other one is administration, Dr. Ochieng. And then we have Dr. Ochieng with the chief medical officer. So, when we report our case to the principal medical officer, student, we go to the student clinic, and then you are handled by medical officer, who we are going to meet there. Then the case from there is fraud. You are supposed also to report to security officers. You report the case to the security officer and the administration. The doctors usually are called only when we want to have a legal address, because that is the reason why we need to report to the principal medical officers for them to write reports. Now, there is something that you need to know. Most of our patients who report to us are usually physically abused, some are raped. Those are the majority of the people who visit the medical facilities. But you know, gender violence is in many forms. You can have somebody abused, who was not physically assaulted, but was abused and has suffered psychologically because of that. that probably a patient may report back when he's having a lot of mental anguish, like depression, psychologically. Those are people that we refer to. We have psychiatrists and psychologists. Then we refer to them. We have also counselors who handle those patients. When I was when I'm telling you about reporting, if somebody has not reported to us, or probably somebody was dead, and then comes to me and tells me, no, I fell down. I cannot be able to know whether there was the person was assaulted, and I cannot say the person was assaulted since he has not reported. And the reason why I'm telling you, Chiromo, I've never had these cases, not that probably they are there, they are not there, but due to ignorance, and some people don't want issues. Some say, since you are attacked and then whoever did it, you don't want those issues of taking the case forward, you report everywhere. Due to ignorance, I would think that, especially so of young people, it is always very good to report such cases, not because of yourself, but because it is good to help that person who is doing that, so that he doesn't do it to another person, and then he may end up being taken to court. So you need to tell them, and let them appreciate it is dangerous. And I'm very happy to see you people. You have taken that initiative. Now, I'll give you some cases I have seen for violence in Chiromo. One was two ladies came to me in 2012. I don't remember which man. And they came to me, they told me, you know what? We don't know even where we are serving. Both of them. We have been abused. I then had to ask them where they were abused and when. They told me they had a bash in the halls of residence. And then they had been drinking, making merry to the late night. Then they don't know what happened. And they say they were unconscious. They were taken to the venue where they were raped. And the time they were coming to me was about 2 days after. You see, most of the evidence is not there. When somebody, maybe in the case of a rape, you are not supposed to wash, you are not supposed to undress before you go to hospital. So that all those things are going to be accounted by the medical officer. And in the case of any illegal address, then it can be elicited. These ladies, they came to me, and they had already washed, and they were telling me it was 2 days ago. Then they were very little to do. I referred them, because we are not supposed to ignore. I referred them. Then I told them, you have to go to see our police medical officers who are there. They went there. And then I told them they have to report to the security officers here. Later on, because I knew these two ladies, I asked what happened. They told me, when we went there, we decided to see the security officer, and then whoever did that, because we know them, with the consent, I never arrested them. So you see, I would think it is not proper that way. Since if you do not report, and the authorities don't know, you are not helping anybody. Neither are you helping whoever is doing that. Because you are supposed to help another person. I do not know whether these young ladies were given alcohol or what, but there was something that was done. Now, whoever did that could repeat the somebody else, you pitch to another person. So when you don't report, what you are doing, you are condoning bad behavior, and then it can become a norm. And that is the reason why you may go to a community, beating a lady is not bad. We just pitch, even long ago, in African traditions, people used to beat women.
To make sure that people are not afraid of maybe reporting or probably the issue of reconciling might not help at all, but it's just, there is no professionalism is involved when the two are reconciling.
There is none. I think that is the reason probably I've said, some of you, they don't know how to report. That's how it started. How do you report? I've explained to you. Not only here, even outside. People don't know where to report to. That's why some of them, they go to the police until very recently. When the policemen were sensitive about the other issue, which is inside in our constitution, now they are changed. Nobody knew. And that is the reason why people could be God doing what they want. We needed to pray God to be born being very strong, so that you can exercise your strength. But these days, you behave like that, you will be put in. So it is good, and I'm very happy to be associated with this peer education. And then the king already was cut on the head. I remember those times, we were in short of robbers. And you see, can you imagine you stitch a wound where there is no robbers? It's very bad. And since the lady was bleeding, we had not decided to stitch, although we persuaded her to keep quiet. The husband was there when he was stitching. And in fact, when the lady would say, shh, they slapped very heavily. Then when we asked the old man, do you know you are doing wrong? He said, no, I'm not doing wrong. Then says my wife, I'll take it down. Even if I kill her, nobody will ask. You see such a ignorance. The old man was a queen. It's not a room. I never saw a room attacking me. I want to say, those people beating women. So what I'm telling you is that in some African traditions, wrong at all, it used to be the law, beating women, which is a very barbaric thing. And I would think, these days, if you do that, you just be arrested, and you will be put to prison. And it is good you people, you're having a time to educate your peers about violence, which is very bad. And what I'm trying to tell you, the cases that I had here in Chiromo, 2 days, those 2 days, already they are intended upon. But you see the psychological effect that you live with. You don't be there. Somebody may hate many because of that. Some other people some of them may be very arrogant because of that. You know, that was effects can affect
a suggestion that yes, you can say we need this to be done, we need this to be done, but I'm presenting that I'm ready to offer maybe to help sensitize students on matters of gender-based violence and even on other ailments. People fall sick but they don't know how to go about it. So yes, we can do a sensitization. Then something else is over, maybe if someone was being hit and it's at night and there's a security guard there, but they have nothing to do, maybe they think it does not concern me, so they just look but they don't do anything. So maybe then you can reach out to them and tell them what to do, how to contact the security, because it will be at the hostels, yes, the security officer is at Chiromo. So just sensitization.
I had another young man, was a first year. I told you I have encountered on a video. That young man was a first year, and then was given a woman. He brought some young women. Then he was supposed to sleep with one. And then they spent the night. Then the young man the next day, he was very annoyed. annoyed with himself. He was even saying that he wished he served outside. He had no physical injury. But you see, so long as he is complaining that, he has been abused. That case also, I referred to the medical officer, and then I told him we should report. Should not keep quiet. Maybe when I reported, that one I never followed. But I was telling you some cases which are witnesses here in Chiromo. Maybe it could be the others, but people just fear. They don't want to report. Others, they fear passion. Others, they're ashamed. They don't want things to be known. But once you keep quiet, you are not helping anyone. And it is good for you people to educate the others so that they know. And that is the reason why I told you I'm very happy to be invited in this workshop to share with you. Here we do not have a lot of cases. And I would say, Chiromo people are good. The cases that I'm having here are minor cases, and we do not have a lot of them. Farmers work anywhere in the health services, we have so many health units. I would still choose Chiromo because I do not have our students are ready. So I'm happy about that. These are the things that I wanted to tell you. The other thing is that there is something else in the case of Array. Also, some students, they reported to me about rape, not in the campus, but those who are staying outside. Some when going home. Some of them in the evening, they do not know across the bridge is very dangerous, and they walk around going to rest. I have spent about 2 days worried to them. And then those ones, what we do, we have a refer them so that they can be given temps. That is exposure of praxis. That one is given offered in our service unit on the other side. So do not keep quiet. In case of rape, you are supposed to get that. Because you never know. Majority of rapists majority of them are HIV positive because you cannot imagine somebody going to answer. You see, we have to do it. And there was a time we had some students raped that football ground, sometimes not enough. And you see, we have security officers. And that's a problem now. We should be reported to the principal's office. On the hotline, about now, somebody sick, probably in town, and you call an ambulance. If you have an ambulance number, you call the ambulance. It should not come. The reason is, I was told before I came here, there was a brand new ambulance which was stolen. Somebody laughed, saying, I'm having a student here, it's an emergency. Then the ambulance was taken there. And then they met people with guns. And that vehicle was never recovered. That is the reason why I'm telling you, when you are sick and you are in the hostel, tell the custodian to leave, because they have a number of ambulance. Those are the people likely to leave. Unless you get some people leaving. There was a time we had a case like that one. One night when I was working outside, students they were very drunk in town. They ran. They are having somebody and badges. Only to come and say they are drunkards. You see, that is the reason why they cannot honor your phone. Some of you are not very good, so they cannot be honored. That's the reason why we are talking about force officer. We have some students inside just near here, and you see they are very near. They need to go to the force. If somebody is very sick, they go to the force. Then the force officer leads, because always the driver will ask you, which hall? You will not go anywhere else. When you're outside, you have to have your own arrangement. You come to the hospital outside. You see? Yeah, and these are things that some of you don't know. Some they don't know, and I feel it's good to tell you, so that you know that we are covered the whole day and night. Only the night you should do the understand is an emergency, because we have skeleton staff. We have very few people.
Yes, because of time, I'm sorry, but you may see our clinical officer.
If you have a problem, come there, I'm always there. And you can ask anything. I'm very happy to be associated with you. I have some students who come just to ask me, and I'm very happy. That's why I've told you I appreciate working with you. I like it.
So before we wind up, I don't know whether you have maybe contacts for, if we have maybe questions, we may use that.
That one. We have what we are going to do. I'm going to make an arrangement. If you have any questions, then you can ask concerning medical. I'm the medical representative here. So if you have anything, you just ask. That's why I'm remembering all the Chiromo people are very good. They do not present such things.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The entire occasion. I'm just about to introduce to us our invited guest speakers who are conversant with this topic, GBV, and they are experts in this, and they are going to tell us one or two things, and we are going to learn from them. So are we ready for them?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to invite Ms. Faith, who is going to also invite and also introduce the rest of the team.
So you can all hear me. I don't need to use this, do I? No. So my name is Faith Wafula. Yeah. I work in gender-based violence. I work for an organization called Strategic Applications International. So we do different projects and different programs, but this one, the one I'm here about, is gender-based violence and youth. Yeah? You guys are also serious. You're all doctors and stewards and all science people, yeah? Yes? Because you're all so serious. Like, I am standing here and I'm feeling like, oh my. Yeah? You look like you have a lot of, it's just libraries and libraries in your head. So please be easy. It's not, we're not going to talk about steward and what you do and who goes to you and what happens to you and the science of brain. No. Yeah? It's very interactive. It's going to be a discussion. So kindly, we will have a discussion. It's not a lecture. Sawa sawa. I'd like to know your views. As young people, your views as future scientists and all that stuff. That's what we'd like. So please be as interactive as possible. I've come with my colleagues. That's Zara, she's the one who's beginning. And then there's Abdia. Abdia is in Kenyatta University. She's doing gender and development. Now, Kenyatta University have something called a gender policy. And they have another thing called a sexual and gender-based violence policy. So that is what we'd like to create a framework for with you guys, so that by the time you graduate, those are people can have something to go back to, yeah? So that in our year, come on, you already have something in place, yeah? So that's what she's going to talk about. I am just going to deal with the cool stuff. We're going to talk about the issues you have. We're going to talk about to get solutions. And how many guys are in clubs here? How many clubs are represented? Are you in clubs? Are you just around 4? Around 4 clubs. Are there any student leaders? No. But they're clubs, yeah? Club leaders, clubs, okay, awesome. Yeah, we're going to look at what you can do as clubs, what student leaders can do, what you can do as an individual to sort out all these gender-based violence issues and to create gender inclusion, yeah?
Why? You cannot hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, basically, I don't want to give you a lecture. I think a class on this, so serious. I want to discuss. So, I don't want to discuss. I want us to discuss. Okay. So, my aim here is I'm going to talk about what is GBV, which actually I've had all of you, the presentation you gave us. I think most of you have a rough idea of what it is. But mostly people use the UN, that meaning. But I want to talk about forms of gender-based violence in campuses. Not out there, what is happening here. Okay, we are all alone, so be free to talk. No one will say, where is my way, where is my free about it, just talk about it. What goes on in this campus? Because me, I know I'm a student here actually. I'm doing a master's in gender development studies. I see what goes on. I can tell you the experiences, what goes on. I can give you an example, but don't quote me. Yes. Me, my example is sex for maths. That's one me I've experienced. Not yet. I had this lecturer who really bothered me, but actually testing this out to be another see. So another example. Come on, talk to me. Give me another example. Come on, this one doesn't talk anything. Okay, who doesn't do but me? Honestly. Can I give you another second example? Yes.
There's a group of friends. They went out, they got drunk and everything. Then when they came back, I think one of their friends was extremely wasted. She was a girl. Then I think in her drunken state, she removed all her clothes. And then the friend started inserting bottles into her reproductive system. And then the weirdest thing was that they sent it out and it became viral. So everyone would receive it, like, and you'd laugh about it. Yeah.
This site of you can really come back to Facebook. It's called what? It's called what? It's here, you. It's called what? So you may enjoy it. So you really enjoy it. And it's for rich men. But you enjoy the free pictures, yeah? Okay, another example of forms of sexual violence that happen in your campus.
I have.
So what happens in these classes? Speak louder.
It's recorded especially online. Where people come to have a bash, raise a drink, then after that they give us some cookies, with cookies, and then because they get high, the next thing is going to have sex with so many people. I had a classmate first year who went to great actual science because that happened to her. Everybody was like,
I have a couple of questions to men. When you do that, what he said, hata najifanya sukari na kili huyu na huyu amemonja. Another form of sexual-based violence and whatever, gender-based violence and goes on. And we're not only talking about women. Okay, yes, women are the main people that gender-based violence occurs to. What about men? What about boys? Does it happen in this school? Yes?
Yeah, I have a. If it is a. Yeah, if GBV is also psychological, then I can say here in campus, the way our ladies do dress, some of them, they don't take offense. Some ladies in campus, the way they put on when they come to lecture halls, they expose themselves, you see? And you know, as men, we amplify some. So I think psychologically they are treasuring us because they are trying to make our minds think sexual, see? And you feel like no wonder some of them are being raped. So I think they are affecting us as far as how they do job is concerned. Thank you.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Can you rape me? Dressed like this?
Of course no. Of course not. Your attire doesn't really expose doesn't provoke me. Yeah, so I can't get it.
Okay, the funny thing where I come from, when you dress, okay, men, I don't know, but you can be very clear like this. Yeah, ask her where I come from. But the problem is, women, you know, in my community, we cannot say it. If I say I've been raped by a man, I'm the one who's going to jail, not the man who raped me. It's a funny thing. Where I come from.
Violence and causes of gender-based violence to start PowerPoint. But if right now you see someone with very nice shoes, yeah, I come in here and I have very nice shoes, okay, will you take them by force? Will you take them by force? Yeah. So if you see a woman not covered properly, yeah, is that an excuse for you to take her dignity by force? So is it her fault? Is it an excuse? No, listen, wait. Is it an excuse for you to do it? Yeah, just for discussion's sake. Let me ask a few questions and then you can speak. Let me just 1 minute. There's that, and then another thing, yeah? A place that has very low numbers of gender-based, of rape especially, is Turkana. Who has been to Turkana? Who knows how those women dress? Turkana women are topless. Yeah? And then currently, you are a man. Yeah? You can control your sexual urge. So, no, listen. Just because, listen, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You're a man, you can control your sexual urge. That's what I'm saying, yeah? Women, when we see men dressed in shorts, who said we don't think things in our head? Yeah? Every man here, I think every man here who is saying that, because she's she's uncovering herself, it makes me think of, it's her fault she's being raped. Who knows? Do you know how a woman thinks when you're wearing shorts and a vest? Do you have any idea? So those are things you should think about, yeah? Those are things you should think about as she does her presentation and as you make your comments, yeah?
Okay, my name is Evans Mohammed. I'm taking BSc in Industrial Industry. Okay, thank you so much for your comment and your views. I appreciate so much. But I just have one question. Does it mean that our very well-dressed ladies are not attractive to us? Does that mean that just because you enter a class with a micro-mini skirt? I mean, let me tell you, for sure I know for a fact, I've not studied anywhere, it's just someone reported in college, I know for a fact that if a lady can get away room with a micro-mini skirt, half the men are out of the skin. Half the men are out. Okay, some ladies will also do, we believe in a crazy religion. But the point is, men are visual beings. That's what we've been told. So for me, personally, I respect ladies who respect themselves in their own attire, and I find it very attractive. For one, that you're respectful enough to dress yourself in a more respectful nature. For why do you come in a micro-mini skirt, you're exposing your body, and you sit next to me in a lecture, and you know very well to break the struggle, and you move about. And you see that okay, I very much respect your view, and I think that women should not be discriminated by how they dress, but they should try as much as possible to be respectful and mindful of the men who are visual beings. So for me, I respect your views, but I feel that as much as we allow fashion to be part of our culture, we should at least, in the most respectful way, embrace it in a respectful and mature way. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm Simon. I'm Simon. That's how I'm doing. So first of all, I want to tell you that please stop defending ladies have the dress. Just set her free so that you say everything before you start explaining why you should do that because of art. Just give us that. Like you're saying, you're asking us Turkana, you're comparing the Turkana, the way people dress session here, I think it's sure about it. If after class, we tell you, because some things we just put them, because they make us men, and you also do other things because they make this. So, like this, let me give you an example. The example, somehow it's also sexual, like a lady comes to your room, then you do other stuff, like you have never got here, then maybe you cook or she cook, you eat, you talk, you joke, then she went back and maybe tells you or tells a friend that just came and nothing happened. Or yeah, like someone saying, women are always no, and men. So sometimes you just tell us, there's something like no and yes. Sometimes just do what you want to do, and at the end of the day they talk no and they're happy, something like that. So when a lady comes and go, let's say spoiling your name, that you did nothing, maybe you are seriously admiring inside and you just did nothing like that because of some mistake. Then later, the next time when you acquire somebody else there and it's looking so sexy like you think, my friend.
Okay, well, I've been told time is going, so questions later?
Let's do this, yeah? Let us start on the presentation, yeah? So when she finishes, the next session is very interactive, and that's where we can have it, yeah?
Okay. Talk about the forms of gender-based violence that happens. Okay, then one I want you guys talk about is access to sexual and reproductive health. Can I ask, you have a clinic here, right? Do people go report they've been raped? I've never heard of cases. A girl has gone, she's been raped. I think cases like that. And how are the nurses there, the counselors? Has any of you ever visited the clinic? No. It's what? Where? Can you hear me? Sorry.
I visited the clinics maybe about a problem that it arose from maybe a passion from the virtual is most probably you would be treated like you are victim, you would be treated like you are
Okay, what I gathered from people I've talked to, they told me there's no confidentiality in the counseling services. As in, the nurses can scream, like, can shout at you as in, hey, look at nini? As in, to a very expert, it's like going to a chemist and you want to buy, like, women, you want to buy, like, Postino, everyday pill, and the pharmacist goes like, unataka nini? You're like, everyday pill. Actually, unataka hiyo family planning unataka. As in, you've experienced that. Even at condom names. Hapo kwa sababu. Yeah, so that's one of the types of form of gender-based violence in the universities. Yeah? Okay. I want us to talk, okay, this is the main topic I really wanted to talk about. The role of student leaders and student peer educators in combating gender-based violence. Any of you, okay, how many student leaders are here? Oh? Aspirants. Careful with your elections. Oh, sorry. Okay, how many are here? Aspirants are good for you. See ya. Yeah, just follow from there. Create a system to successfully transfer knowledge from current organization members to becoming members. That is like the way you ask the clinical officer. Yeah, does he have records? What did he say? No, he doesn't have records. So when can you start? When can you all start keeping records? The leaders here. Keep records from your incoming members, okay? Then another one is develop a strategic plan, lay out the organization goals and action strategies, be sure to include objective promotional tactics, ways in which you intend to keep the students and build narratives. Okay, stories move people, like the way you made a video talking about gender-based violence. Most of you say that, okay, yes, you've heard, but no one has ever come straightforward about it. Why don't you make a forum, like a counseling service for students? Okay, and motivate students to come forward and talk about it. It really helps. Another one is create a media strategy. Student groups should strive to develop a thorough communication plan that defines the communication goals, messaging tactics to effective implementation of programming or raise awareness about gender-based violence. This plan should include the media tools like website, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. Okay, my second one, formulate strategies and implementation plans of fighting GBVs. That one will let one partner talk about it. Should go. There are forms of gender-based violence is wide. There's so many, like female genital mutilation. That is another form of gender-based violence. Early marriages is another form of gender-based violence. GBVs. There's so many.
For me, I just have one thing that I think stands out personally. So there's this application that I was going through with. I was applying regularly for years and finishing, so you're applying for jobs and stuff. So there's this one application that nilikuwa napeleka. So the guy akaniambia, you're well spoken, you can express, you can do everything right. But honestly, let me tell you the truth. According to our constitutions right now, it is 1/3. 1/3 must be what? Ladies, as much as you are qualified, I will not give you the job. I'm sorry, but to tell you honestly the truth, this position has to be a lady. Because we are trying to fulfill the constitutional rights. Even though I was qualified, I was not taken just because of my gender. So I think maybe that one is qualified.
For the country's policy, what you're talking about is affirmative action, yes?
Yeah.
So I think affirmative action, is a way of creating gender parity, yeah? So before you look at that as gender-based violence, perhaps look at the representation in the committee you were trying to get into, or whatever it is you're trying to get into, yeah? Was it majority men? Or, you understand? Were they trying to create parity, and is that the reason why that they told you that? Is that the reason why they created affirmative action in that perspective? Look at the history of that problem before you call it.
As much as possible. And the affirmative action is one thing that is there. It is very good actually, because I have sisters, I have relatives who are ladies, and for me, affirmative action is very good. But to the point of which, honestly, I'm being denied a job just because of my gender. Does it indeed qualify as a GBV? Because I had applied, and the guy told me you're qualified. In fact, you're well spoken. You can do this thing. I think I can do this job. But I'm very sorry. The only thing that will not qualify you is because you are a man.
What?
I'm correct. I'll be a 4 year in 2017.
Oh my God.
Okay, maybe I had maybe an argument connected to this. Something that so that you mentioned I'm sorry, I'm not a bad man. You mentioned about
Turkana.
Yeah. I'm not from there, but I'm a Turkana.
Yeah.
And there is a difference between coming from there and being from here. So you say these ladies of ours leave their chest there. That's rhetorical. It happened a long time ago when people are operating on cultural cocoons.
Yeah.
But currently, for the lack of a better word, it happened out in but nowadays, actually, it is not there. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I did not mean that. I love those people. I was there last week. Those men clearly have enough discipline, much more discipline than us guys who wear clothes. So I didn't mean it in a negative connotation, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was also on the positive side.
Yeah.
So maybe to finish them. Anyhow she can walk, she can enter our washrooms anyway. And secondly, we can meet with them there. If you can meet with a lady in a shower, in showering is your way.
In men's shower.
Yes. Yeah. And secondly,
In a towel.
On a contradicting note,
Yeah.
she's not that scenario. She has just been given that freedom.
Yeah.
Also, as men, we really get drafted.
Yeah.
Because try getting to me already. See, the first thing you ask is, you cannot go in without an ID. Any other time, you go in, you must present. Not even present or show them your ID. You must leave them yourself. You must leave your ID there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a
I think the gap is okay. You want to answer?
No, I want to tell you something. Okay, you know, ladies, you're very vulnerable. You're very vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Yeah. You know, for me to decide to walk to prefabs, I must have made a decision. Nimeamua nataka kwenda prefabs and know what I'm going to do in prefabs. But for you, for me to make up my mind, I want to go to prefabs. Niko na mission ya kwenda prefabs. I don't just walk to prefabs. Maybe I'm going there for something. But you guys, but you guys, you know, okay. Then you're very funny. Maybe you saw a girl.
You have your lunch, so you need not go far. Even if you can't use
Matala 2009 un cyclone passe, l'école tombe, Haïtien campé, Haïti pas crasé. Nous n'en faisons noir, nous pas capables, nous still gagnons l'espoir. Haïti pas crasé.
There are partners here, it means that they can quite possibly give internship slots, meaning that guys what is it? You're going to work at GBV. You're a doctor, only doctors. No, and these guys who do that thing for Dunga in your hand here, and then they press it, and then you get blood, and then they put it on a glass. They call it lab technician. No, it doesn't have a fancy name. It must have a fancy name, my please. So yeah, that is SEMA. Okay. So what you do is, our Facebook name is our website is semagbb.org. Facebook is Sema Mapenzi Bila Chuki. Just search for that. Sawa. Twitter is @SemaGBV. Sawa. If you follow us on those pages, you'll get all this info when all these things are starting, but we'll also let your guys know when these things are happening. Secondly, another thing that you can do is make sure that you please blog. If you don't know who is creative, who likes to write, and who likes to do anything apart from calculation. I mean, I know you like calculation, yes, but then you must like something else. Yeah, you must like something else. You like
add something on the point?
Yeah.
How many of us have blogs? Okay, how many of us have blogs? Only one person. How many of us would want to have a blog? Okay. How many of us know even the benefit of a blog? Okay, fine. Now, if there is any person who wants the blog created, we have. Sorry to take your slot.
Yeah.
We have WordPress, we have Tumblr, we have like journal, we have blog posts, we have Blogger, but your NBI has its own blog platform. So your blog, the way some of them are at WordPress or .wordpress, there is one for .unbi, .blogs.unbi. So if there's anyone who wants their blog created, please write this email down. We need WINNIE CO, that is Winnie Kodawa, CODAWA, Winnie Kodawa, WINNIE CODAWA at uonbi.ac.ke, and then just giving, when you're requesting for your blog to be created, write your registration number.
your registration number, your name, your full names, and how you want your blog to be created. And then I'll revert back with that it has been created and the password, and then thereafter you can change your password. Okay? Thank you for talking about the blog. You guys should blog. I really appreciate it. Because all those things you're thinking in your head, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. That Clan story, you can just write about it as it is because it's an opinion. And that's how it goes. An opinion is, that's the whole idea about blogging. And then people will decide whether your opinion is valid or not. So now one more thing and then I'm done. This is taking 15 minutes, tafadhali. So we rush. What are GBV issues in your campus? Quickly, we mentioned some, but I'd just like you to tell me some of them as clubs or club leaders or whatever that you think is an issue in your campus. Any? One is, and I got this from a UON training, that thing for shower curtains and shower doors. Is it true? The hostels have shower curtains? Which hostel? Who stays in a hostel with curtains? No, yeah, still. Even the girls, yours have curtains. It has curtains, still. Yeah, I got that from my UON campus. Sawa. That's one. Secondly, another issue I got from my UON campus during the training with UON was the tunnel. That tunnel. It's dark, girls get raped. No. That's an issue. I need someone else. I need who's still who can write for me these points down? Because that's the kind of stuff that we us guys are going to leave you guys with as you come up with solutions and implementation. So write for them any those issues down, yeah? So there's one, you said the tunnel, two is the shower curtains. No. Which other issue can you say you have? Just as you mentioned while the guy was here, you said that reporting. Come on.
Like in about 2 days of mass building.
Mass?
Mass building. Find that the bathroom is 1, 0.
Oh, for guys. I thought guys just shout. Yeah? No. You guys pee together, right? You can two shower together. That's a difference. I understand. I'm kidding, I understand, yes? So are there people who have almost been abused because of those showers? That's when it becomes a problem. Do you know of a guy who was bending down to pick up soap? He was almost abused or something of the sort. No. Yeah, so that's why I'm asking for gender-based violence issues. You understand? But okay, fine, it's an issue. You can write it down and then you guys can discuss how you want it to be. Yeah. Reporting mechanism. I feel that's a problem, yeah? I'm not comfortable with, first of all, I think the fact that everyone that is being reported to is a man is an issue. Because look, the fact is, if I've been raped, I don't want the first person I see to be a man. I will not want it. Sour. And that's why police stations try and put female police officers as GBV officers. Because it's a mental thing, that's just the way it is. So if 90% of your security of gender issues, at least your clinic should have enough representation of women. And not just women, trained women that you can actually go to and be like, this is your mother. You know, like the way, it's like if they place, if Martha Karua was a Martha Karua is a motherly politician. You don't know any motherly one? Anyway, but you know what, you understand what I mean? Like someone who you can actually feel comfortable going to talk to. So I feel like your reporting mechanism has issues. And also the fact that you've been told if you're abused, go and see the security guy. And then when you see first you see the clinical officer, and then the clinical officer will talk to you, and then now they'll tell you, now go and report to the who. Then you go there and now report. I feel that, like, what are those two chicks who abused me? I would have gotten tired somewhere there in the middle. You understand? Yeah? Let me tell you a story. When I was in campus, I was a party girl, probably. Yeah? I used to go out a lot. Yeah? So this one time, we go out with my friends, and we've gone out, we graved, do what it went. Then we get back. It was like a chick pal and a dude. So we get back, and I feel dizzy completely. I cannot even move. So we get to the house, and I fall asleep on the sofa. Sometime in the middle of the night, I don't know what happened. My friend came and said, "No, come and sleep," because my house used to have 2 beds. So she was like, "No, come and sleep." So I couldn't even see. I was really out of it. I don't know why. Yeah. So I went to sleep, and then at some point in the night, I feel like there's something on top of me, like there's pressure, you know. So I opened my eyes. First of all, the room is spinning, and this guy, the guy who I thought was my friend, is on top of me. Yeah. So I opened my eyes, and then, so I'm trying to push him off, but I can't because I'm dizzy. I don't know. I can't even think. My friend, the girl, is the one who is telling him everywhere. She can't feel anything. You just keep going. You understand? So I wake up in the morning, and no, I woke up really early in the morning at like 4 a.m. and I'm freaked out and I'm crying. And so I went and told my neighbor, who was a friend of mine. I told him what happened, and he's like, he said chase them out, and they went. And then this chick now started sending me threatening messages, telling me, still I'll tell people what, I'll tell people you're a who, still I'll do what, yeah? And I had exams, so I'm thinking about exams. I have to go to Nairobi Women's because I have to do all that stuff that they have to do, you know, all those tests, everything. And then here is a chick who's threatening me. The dude is doing what in school. Our dean was another lecturer that you can't even talk to, yeah? I had no one to tell. Our health unit, you couldn't go there for counseling because they were all Kao mamas who were like, it just looked like it's Udaku, then go and spread outside there. And then at this point, it's that kind of situation where you feel like you should blame yourself. You know, it's my fault. I'm the one who went out partying. I'm the one who let them sleep at my house. So I can't blame anyone. So I can't tell admin. You understand? That really messed me up completely. It wasn't for the strength of God and my strength as a person, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing today. You understand? And that's why I think, and that's the reason, that's what drives me to work with campus so much, is because there's so many issues that campus people face that they don't talk about. Sawa, at so many different levels. And that's why I'm telling every chick here, it's never your fault, no matter what happens, it's never your fault, yeah? So that's the whole idea. So people so serious about it. So that's the thing, yeah? That's what you need, and that's why I'm saying it's important for you guys to have a proper reporting mechanism, yeah? Work with students, peer leaders, make sure that you can approach those peer leaders as well.
In fact, that girl is my friend, and she's not a friend, another friend. So that friend told me, he had some guys posting that the leader. So, like, in this campus, it's just something we talk about. Every time you had the question I asked, there are people they fear. And I know the guys, they can't even talk about this. The scale teacher said, at the moment they can't give, they're working something. So sometimes it feels so bad, like when you know a friend is somewhere here, it's very second right now. That she could be in that here.
So that's the issue. The fact that, first of all, the hostels are close together, that is a long-term problem. It can't be solved tomorrow.
Keyword. So there was supposed to be a quiet room so that if you can't study in the room, you can go there and study. So nowadays, due to the lack of rooms, if you miss a room, you are given. And there you share because it's a big room. So over there, we have 4 beds. So another guy is staying in a lady, the same room. Another place, even on 8. And in some house, there are even where people share 8 people in the same room.
Yeah.
And some people have ladies. Not other people feel harassed, but they can't do it. Because like, if you don't have a lady, that person is there. Sometimes when you unasikia mtu anakupeleka
sawa. So that's an issue as well. Sawa. Cohabiting. So you need to discuss issues. Sawa. And then after that, think about solutions. Yeah. So you said there are 4 clubs presented here. Is there anyone who can think of any solution to any of those issues at all? Yeah. What? Are you from a club?
Yeah.
What club? Red Cross.
Yeah, in Red Cross we have different ways of reporting an issue.
Yeah.
And my main concern, I wanted to ask that when the gentleman presenting the medical staff is here. Now he said something to do with emergency, as he was trying to say there are things that you can't call when they're happening, as he didn't give a clear definition of what is an emergency. Now you see, let's say in a room, if you hear some noises in the next room, some weird noise that is not a party. If you can report that to someone and there is response, then at least that's a proper cure for some things.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether this will reach the university staff or something.
That's your job now. You see, everyone is here. You need to come up with ways of petitioning, ways of lobbying, so that first of all, they stop being more afraid for the ambulance than they are for the student's life. Because I think it is sad when they say we can't send out an ambulance because it will get stolen, and yet it's a life of a student that is on the line. You understand? So you guys are the ones to make sure that as clubs, you actually have, you know that you have CSR. It's not just CSR. You guys are actually lobbying for actual things, you know. Like you're lobbying because you're saying, as Red Cross, us guys deal with first aid. There is no way you can say an ambulance will be stolen if you pick up someone's freeware. You understand? That those are the sort of things you need to do as clubs. So that's probably one potential activity as Red Cross. You to come up with a way of lobbying, go out, gather signatures. I don't know if that works for you, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah? No, gathering signatures, first of all, is a way of mobilizing, I think. So, if you can get signatures from thousands of students, we have 68,000 students for Christ's sake. Students demonstrate actively, peacefully. Please don't try. But I think Chiromo didn't have that crap. So yeah, demonstrate, do petitions, whatever. But work with your student leaders, create good relationships with student leaders, your gender secretaries, etc. Yeah? Then you can be able to change that. So you can make that your goal, but before you clear.
I should be good to report, and I'm sure they will respond. So I think as the clubs are here, we should do something about that.
Yeah.
And
as Red Cross, actually. Yeah. I think I'll follow up on you for that, if that's okay. Yeah. Sit down with your club members, talk about that as an issue, and come up with a solution for it. Sawa. That's what you should do. Bake that to your strategy for this year. Just say, that's what us guys will follow up on. Okay. So Red Cross are making our ambulance available for everyone.
Yes.
One of the issues raised with the tunnel and Riverside Chiromo, and also along Stella Winja from campus, and then there is also this distance between St. Paul University Chapel and any entrance at the university ADT. So there was a concern on security because the reports were that girls were being raped. So there was a concern on security. Along those, so the solution was that there are there's a security company that has been placed there with vehicles. They're just on standby. I don't know how effective they are, but we are.
Have they already been placed?
Yeah.
They're there already.
Yes. And for the tunnel, the issue was lighting.
Yeah. Are they going to?
Yeah, there is light.
I heard you guys, university students, your end can be quite kleptomaniac. You guys will deal with sockets. So lights will stay.
Yeah, they put up lights and they're permanent.
Permanent lights, yeah? And if not, if they can't, then you can't. No, I was trying to think of a mask, but a mask usually light the candle.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I think now who were you from? What club or what?
Red Cross.
Red Cross, yes. Now, how do you think you can lobby for lights? Because I feel like that's a big issue that needs to be addressed, because we had it more than once.
Okay, as we're talking right now, there are lights.
There are lights?
Yes.
The tunnel has lights?
Yes. It has lights and yes, there are lights. There are two tunnels and they have lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the only one because the most risky light in the tunnel and form. So it's okay. It's not risky because it stays
there.
Yeah.
Because they're giving 1,000 per month. It's just no.
Solution, who knows as well as a solution for drugs? Apart from messaging, I think one solution would be messaging. Solution for that.
For me, the solution is that if you are in the room, you have your room. You yourself, you don't take it. I remember that if you are looking for, they usually bring 2 people kids. And in the letter for administration in the university, they usually ask, are you married? And are you sure everyone must? So there's no way you can tell me that you have a girlfriend or family in the room, sleep in the room. That's what you should not do.
Okay. So he says it comes from an individual basis. You should be a strong individual.
We should all take responsibility. Because if we look for the administration to start for us, we're the ones who are getting hurt now and then. So we should take responsibility wherever we are. Maybe it is something that needs action, just take it right and then.
Yeah.
And then the rest will follow.
Okay, take responsibility, personal responsibility. So here are some others that us to discuss yourselves. Come up with a proper GBV referral system, and then come up with GBV messaging. Come up with slogans, like UCT Funga or stuff like that. Come up with policies that address GBV. There's multi-level cooperation. So make sure as the admin you're all cooperating, and then there's have a cool campaign, a very cool one, not a boring one like Rise Up. No, a very cool thing. And then as clubs, you can take on gender inclusion strategies as club activities, like Red Cross, what they're going to do. You can lobby for gender inclusion in your campus through petitions and peaceful demonstrations. Have gender-related activities as community service. Promote messaging against GBV through posters, and then you guys have computers in your library. Now, if you guys can have something as a screensaver that is so striking, it's GBV properly, you don't think that it stays in someone's head. Every time you're going to browse, that's the first thing you see. When you enter your Chiromo, the first thing you see is, we do not support gender-based violence, or when you enter a place and you see no smoking, and it will stick in your head, and you do not smoke. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing, you need messaging that screams and shouts, and everyone can see that you guys don't support this crime. And then take a stand as a club and be clear about it. So this is an example of a campaign or a messaging that was done in a campus in the States. It was Make Your Move, that's what it was called, yeah? So a girl that wasted is way easy to hook up with. So the time you want to say, so I made sure her friends got her out of there. She was in no shape to be going home with some guy. You understand? That shows that how a guy can be a protector. When you read it at first, you think, please, it's like it's an excuse. But then it goes on to say what he did is, since he's a dude, he made sure he got that chick out of there. Chicks are if you're nice and, you're like him, he's so adorable. You go and get a chick out of somewhere, you can always get a chick out of a situation. Don't be a bystander. Don't sit down and watch, yeah? And then we have that. 0722 409 730. Kindly do not call me after 6. Do not call me on weekends. Do not call me on holidays. Do not call me and speak with a deep voice. I'm kidding. Call me whenever, it's okay. If it's a gender issue or if it's a professional issue. And then, if you know guys who are talented in stuff, get to me. My email address is this: gbv@Kenya. My email address is at Kenya. Anyway, my personal email address is Fay, F-A-Y. No, you can get my email address on my Facebook page. No, don't. You'll get my email address on the Facebook page. If you like us on Facebook, my email address is there. So it's me and my boss. Her name is Whitney Fry. So pick the Faith. So please email me for anything, especially if you want to volunteer, if you want to start up something in your community with regard to GBV. If you think it's an issue, there's a lady called me from Coast. She wanted to start something there. So we'll try and help you. We'll try and facilitate you in different ways. Just kindly call with your ideas and then implement your strategies. I need a time frame. By when are you going to start doing these things? Of course. Next semester, yeah. I'll follow up with you. What's your name? So your name is there on that list. What's your name? Who? Vasily. Wow, okay. That's an Italian name.
I think because of time, yes, please.
So please, that's my...
Okay, we would like to appreciate her very much. I think the presentation was very informative. It was very lively. You agree? Now we use the factorial method. Which factorial do you think we can give her? 1 more minute, please.
Yeah, honestly, just a few minutes.
Just a few minutes, please. Please. Just a minute. Alright.
So it's I think it is 10 minutes because whatever she's saying is more so directed to, she's just giving details, basically. So,
I believe each and every presenter here has something to offer us, and let us give the same type of information.
yeah, and it's honestly not going to take more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know you have exams, so let us just try and be patient. Okay, welcome so much. You are free to take the podium. Okay.
Question so far. My boss has said 10 minutes. I'm a strict person on time and take 10 minutes. So, yes. So now, I've had a lot of stuff from morning. People have been saying GBV issues with everyone is so much on reps. And if there's GBV issues, it's rep. But I want to tell you, GBV basically does not mean rape. GBV is not rape. GBV is anything, any assault imposed on another human being by a person, depending on your gender. That is GBV. See, when you're walking around campus, and then there's this girl, she comes, then she wants to move her body like this, intentionally, not the one that she's appreciating her body, her hips, some girls, their hips just move. It's not it's their biological makeup. It's called femininity. It's what we appreciate in girls.
Yeah.
You have that femininity in you. That's what describes your gender. See? So, now, if you say that let's say then I'm there, I want to put my tongue all over my lips, I want to roll it like this. That is GBV. So, that is GBV. You walking is GBV. Yeah, winking. A small act of winking because you do not know what that is doing to my body. You do not know what that is doing to me. Maybe I'm starting to get ideas. And what I'm here in school, not to get ideas from you or you wanting to sleep with me. So basically, as students, because we are students, these things happen. GBV is not only about rape. So you cannot tell me that your awareness is free of GBV. GBV is when a boy will come and sit here and he wants to come so close to me that he wants that he rub his shoulders should be next to my boobs, like he wants just to that is GBV. And it's subject to report. That is a case to be reported. See, issues like you going to a lecture and then he's there telling you now, you want this big, fanya mambo, Personally, I've been through that, personally, when I was in first semester. Then this lecturer would go and first would mistake me for Swahili. So he would tell me, inawea cost ni tamu. Akisukuje kwangu nipikie. Kumbe he has some other house that is not his real house, ni mzee. So basically he has a wife, he has children. That is what I would expect, of course, because he even has a ring on, that wedding ring. So namwangalia mzee na shangaa, seriously, can you see? I'm fit enough to be your granddaughter. Because first year I was so small. I'm not yet in middle class, I've been third year September. So first year there I am, I'm so small. So so I'm there, I'm so green in campus, I don't know where to go, what would I do? Then the worst thing was that I was his class representative. See, so every time I have to go to his office. Students have a problem, I was so green, maybe. Then he's telling me, Coastal food is so nice. Then one day I just nikambebe them each time in Swahili. Nikamwambia hivyo. Akaniambia oh, sawa. So when mnapika nikamwambia our place is so dry, we don't even have food. So I said, do kupika. But in a sense, cooking is a passion to me. So namdanganya to save myself. But then I came to learn that these things are wrong. See, it is wrong.
You take a thing to the court of things where you should take the people. And then it goes again to go and please those people to let him be released and come back. How can I hear about that?
No. There was a case once of a man having raped a girl, and then this girl went and report. And then later, after 2 weeks, at your medical site, in our campus, nothing like that is heard of. A crime was committed, there's nothing like reconciliation, that is personal. From this point of rape, this is a crime. And in crime issues, I think, I wish Faith was here, should have clarified that. In crime issues, I think, I'm not a lawyer, but I think there's nothing like reconsidering a crime was committed. This is a rule that has been broken. And the law must take its hand at last. You see? So this boy came back, he's suspended. Not in our campus, you're told to go, discontinuation. Go for good. If you're found guilty, of course, there's some investigation. When you're suspended, there are investigations, and then you're called back, face disciplinary. If it's serious and you're found guilty, you're discontinued. So in this case, Uwe hakuja kama analia, and then he said, this girl has even forgiven me. In this case, he had raped a disabled girl. See, I may rape some disabled girl in their hostels, because they have their hostels for easier use of the facilities.
Okay, welcome so much.
My expectation from today was a bit very high, and I still believe we had a very successful workshop. And whatever we've learned today, we'll put it in practice. We've learned a lot in terms of our training. We've learned that indeed gender-based violence do occur in Chiromo campus, and us as peer counselors, we shall put into practice all the policies that we've learned today. So for the other people, I'm thinking also they do, the expectations have been met.
The workshop was amazing. It was amazing. I learned a lot actually. I've learned how to deal with some of the rape cases actually, because it has been an issue so far. I've also learned that there's a hotline number I can use to communicate and actually save many lives. Food was amazing. The chicken was so nice, apart from so many spices, but it was amazing. I loved the chips. I loved the soda. It was nice.
The breakfast, the
breakfast.
The meat pie.
Yeah, the meat pie, but I fear trying new things, but it was also good from the look.
Meat pie.
Yeah. Anyway, it's okay. It was good. It was good generally. It was amazing.
The workshop was an awesome one. How is it that the voice is so low? Are you hungry?
Or something?
Okay, the workshop was awesome. Right from the beginning to the end, we have actually interacted and we have learned a lot. Beginning from our principal, Professor Aduda, who gave us some information that we were not even aware, and also our chief medical officer, who also told us their responsibility concerning gender-based violence as medical expertise, and also our guest speakers who were presenting. We have learned a lot from them, especially about gender-based violence and the acts of sexual acts that are related to gender-based violence. Yeah, some of this we were not even aware that are offensive and are.
So the long-awaited GBV workshop that CCPE had planned together with UNATSAC finally came. An average of about 50 students or guests were invited for the SEM. Actually, we got a higher number than that, but that was the deal. So the event was a success, as GBV was fully discussed, including GBV cases, gender-based violence cases that were experienced around the campus, and we are fortunate for the whole of Chiromo and all those who attended, in that from the discussions, various ways of dealing with the SEM were attained, and we are hopeful that GBV vice will soon be dealt with completely. From CCPE, we are thankful for the GBV workshop.
The institution is so small. These are the students who are interns.
we have bigger and better minds.
El Michele Matala 2009 un cyclone passe, l'école tombe, Haïtien campé, Haïti pas crasé. Nous n'en faisons noir, nous pas capables, nous still gagnons l'espoir, Haïti pas crasé.